prior videos, we've explored how to install Fenix, how to create and manage local web servers, and how to inspect webhook payloads. All of this has been accomplished through the graphical user interface of Fenix. In this video, we'll explore another side, the console app, which is capable of managing web servers from the terminal. On the left you can see Fenix is running, and on the right you can see my terminal. First, you need to install the console app. To do this, type npm install-g Fenix. For those of you familiar with node.js, this is going to look really familiar because this application is actually written with node.js. It's up and available on the npm repository, and it's available as a globally executable application. So this is what you would type, and when you run this, it would install Fenix for you immediately. And I'm not going to go through that, but it does require having node.js installed on your computer in order for this to work. And it will work. It takes about 15 seconds for the whole thing to actually execute and install on your system. So it is very quick. But since I already have that installed, I'm going to show off a couple of the commands. We'll start with the Fenix help, which just shows the options available with this console tool. Now I'm going to show the servers that are currently available, which should say demo, and it is color coded. You can see that it's on. So now I'm going to go ahead and turn that off just to show how it's done. So Fenix stop demo, and the server is stopped. You'll notice that the growl notification popped up same way as if we had been running this from just by coming in here and starting and stopping. I'm going to go ahead and start it up again, and you'll notice that it is still on and running. So it really works whether you do it from the console or from the visual interface. The choice is yours. So now that we have stopping and starting from the console, we also want to share. So we'll do Fenix share demo. And it didn't recognize the URL immediately, but you can see that in Fenix it did actually share. And this is running as a release candidate. The final version, some of these bugs have been worked out. But I am going to show this another way right after I unshare it. Oops. Demo. So now I've stopped sharing. And this, you can actually do a lot of cool things with it. You can start, stop, share, unshare, all of that using the name of the server, the path that it's running on, or the port. So in this case, I've been using the server name, but you can also do Fenix stop 81, which you'll notice that port 81 is where this is running. It stopped it. So we're going to start that back up. So there's lots of ways to identify the server. Also, if you happen to be in the working directory or the web root, you can simplify this even further. So I'm going to show you, we're going to transfer over to the web root. So now that we're in the web root of the demo website, we can simply do Fenix stop. And we can do the same thing with start, share, unshare, and basically most of the commands, because it's smart enough to recognize that it is in the web root of one of the servers that Fenix manages. So now that we've covered that, when the website is up and running, one cool little feature is to just say Fenix open. I'm sorry, Fenix browse. And it'll automatically launch the server, the localhost server, and the web page that's available there. So it's just a shortcut to open up your web server in the browser. So if you do a lot of work in the console and you need to test something, this is just a shortcut to make that happen. You can also see the version of Fenix that you're running by typing Fenix version. And again, we are working with a release candidate, and I have a path issue here. But the final cool, so I'll go ahead and skip that feature for now, but it would normally just spit out the Fenix 2.0.0 RC1. But for now, I'll show the final interesting feature, which is being able to close this from the command line. So we'll say Fenix close, it closes Fenix, and it actually shuts the window down. Now if you try to run anything again like Fenix start demo, it's not going to work because the server isn't actually running, and it'll tell you so. So again, this only runs when Fenix is up and running, but it is a way to simply type your command. So if you're kind of like myself, where you do a lot of work on the console, this can save you a little bit of time with some shortcuts. Now, for those of you that don't want to install Node.js on your system or don't use that application, there is a specification for how you can create your own client. So if you wanted to use a different programming language to create a client, you could do that, so long as you can program something that interacts with an AJAX-style web API. I'm not going to go and say that it's a REST service because it's not, but it does work similarly. And all of that is documented on GitHub. So if you do create a new console app in another language, I'd love to know about it. Would love to share that with folks. So please, share it if you can. Let me know. I'd be happy to post links. But ultimately, the goal here is to simplify your workflow with web servers. And this console app is one additional piece to the Fenix family that helps accomplish that.